Alright folks, welcome to another raid video, and we have been attempting to make a Seer arena team for like the last 2-3 weeks. One of my friends on here, T-Man, shout out to you. We have just been trying every single combination of Seer teams to see if it's possible to make a good Seer team in arena, but mainly Platinum arena. We've come to the conclusion that yes, it's possible, but you need insane gear. It's probably just not really possible for the vast majority of people, but I think we've kind of come up with a solution. So I'm going to showcase what I think is just one of the best Gold 4 teams in the game. It's still fairly resource intensive, but I'll cover that anyway because this team just destroys everything in Gold 4. Once you get to like high level Platinum Arena, to face like all of the teams, you would need absolutely insane gear, like super high statted immunity gear. But the way I've got this set up, we've actually managed to come up with a team that will use Seer in Platinum Arena against specific teams and do really well. And you don't actually need Siphi, which is really good because I just assumed you would 100% need Siphi to make this composition work. But because she's putting on so many buffs, but actually well, I'll explain when we get into that platinum part of it, but first of all we'll just showcase what the team is, how it all works, and then we will show you what little changes you need to make to the team to make it platinum viable. But again, when I say platinum viable, this isn't really a viable strategy for running in platinum. It's a little bit too unpredictable and situational. So the one thing about this team though is it's a really fun team to run. That is probably, well, definitely the main reason I spent so long trying different combinations of this team to build, and also spent a ton of resources doing it. So please guys, if you wouldn't mind, leave a like and a subscribe if you possibly could, because that really helps me out, considering the amount of resources it costs to do videos like this, because we tried out a ton of champions for this. But yeah, I think we've come to the conclusion this is one of the best ways to do it, because between the two of us we have a fair amount of well, pretty much all the decent champions. I don't have Siphi and stuff, but he was using Siphi. Yeah, let's just get on with the video and see the Queen of Dungeon Clears, the Almighty Seer, who is the ultimate dungeon wave clearer in the game. Brilliant for Doom Tower, brilliant for any dungeon wave, like I say. So yeah, unbelievably good champion, but just never really been used in arena. And it's always been just because she's a little bit too unreliable. You have to rely on these buffs. So just before we go into it, for anyone that doesn't know who Seer is, I've actually done a champion guide on her ages ago, but I'll probably redo it. But it's her Karma Burn you're looking at here. So it removes all buffs from all allies and enemies, then attacks all enemies. Damage increases according to the number of removed buffs. She also puts sleep down. But yeah, she's basically there. And the more buffs she strips, the more damage she's going to do. She removes them from your team and from the enemy team. So you do need accuracy on her if you want to remove the stuff from the enemy team. But it's a very unique ability, and it can do, like I say, crazy damage against waves in the PvE content. But I was determined to build a really cool team in arena as well that used her. I think I tried it ages ago, way before, like, you know, Faction Wars, Lydia was released and stuff like that, but couldn't quite get it to work. But then when Lydia was released, I did think, wow, you know, Lydia's pretty much the perfect champion to run in a comp like this. So what I'll do is I'll just jump into arena just now, and we'll just take the comp through early Gold 4 to see how it works there. Because to be honest, it's an absolute monster in Gold 4. It's like a blender composition. It'll just run you through there. But then we'll work our way up to Platinum, and we'll face the top teams as well and see how it does against that. So let's get on with it. Right, I've had my one-man defense in, yep, so I've been demoted down. So we're not like bottom Gold 4, but we're pretty low down. So let's just jump in. So the team is Arbiter, Valkyrie, and Lydia, and Seer. So this is not a free-to-play friendly team, I'm not going to lie. It's just a really fun team, and technically, I suppose, these three are kind of low spend friendly because, well, Seer's Void, but she is an epic. Everyone can get Arbiter, everyone can get Lydia. It's not easy. The only really pay to win sort of champion is Valkyrie. She's tough to get, and she's a must for this competition unless you have like a 370, 380 plus speed Arbiter, which I don't. You do need the Valkyrie, but to be honest, I would still use Valkyrie anyway because she's good with the buffs. So let's just go ahead. Jump in. It's a full auto team, so just click auto. As you can see, Valkyrie does that. She does that, and boom, she blows the enemy up like that. So it's the most satisfying team ever. Next fight, I will explain it a little bit better. The only issue with this composition is you really need to know who you're fighting. There's a bunch of teams that this doesn't work against. Now, I am in the process of making it immunity based, so I can fight stuff like Torments, and well, I can actually fight Torments as it is, but I really want to be able to fight Hegemon teams. But at the moment, I just don't have the gear to make it viable enough to fight Hegemon teams all the time. So let's just, yeah, I'll take on these easy teams just to show you how easy it is. But yeah, against an easy team like this, we'll put in +1 speed. So basically, your turn meter boosting with your Arbiter. So that puts on attack, 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 and attack. We do have shield buffs as well. Those are coming from Divine Speed and Divine Speed on both these champions. So we've actually got some extra buffs on here. And then what we do, this is the ability that makes this composition work really well, I believe, is this AoE from Lydia puts decreased defense and weaken down, which makes a massive difference with Seer's damage, plus she's in Savage. And it also puts 2 buffs on at the same time. So if we do this, it's so slow in +1. I don't know who actually uses this. So now they've still got their buffs on here, but they've got the decreased defense and weaken. We've now got 4 buffs up and 3 on Seer. Then we go straight into the Valkyrie AoE. So we've actually, this is too easy a team, we've actually killed them just about. So we've now got another 2 buffs. We've got shields and counter attack. So when we come to here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buffs on all these guys, 5 on her, and then we've got 1 on each of these champions, and they've all got decreased defense and weaken, so then it's an easy karma burn for the win. What we'll do is we'll work our way up. Let's find some slightly tougher teams. Here we go. This looks a bit of a tougher team. So let's go in and click auto. And boom, easy. So that was quite good. So their Arbiter actually cut in there and managed to use the A1, which actually just put more buffs on them, which in turn, because they got buffs on, Valkyrie decreased their turn meter, and then Seer was able to cut in and quickly karma burn them. So yeah, it's a fine-tuned team. It's taken a while to get the speeds down, but it does work pretty well. So let's have a quick look over the stats of these champions, and then we'll do some more arena and really test it out, because there's tons of teams I want to show this team against. But you get the idea of how it works now. So obviously Seer's ability, Karma Burn, that's what you need. The rest of her abilities don't matter. Her stats, so she's running the Savage gear and a broken set. Ideally, I'd like to get a decent accuracy chest piece in Divine Speed that I can stick on her here, and then that'll give her that extra buff, plus it'll give her more speed as well, which will be really useful. But as you can see, her stats here, she's running at 35k health, doesn't matter. Defense doesn't matter. Attack doesn't matter at all. The damage isn't based off attack at all. The whole damage for her Karma Burn is based off the enemy max HP, the amount of buffs, and your crit damage. So in Savage gear, it's not an easy build, I'm not going to lie. This is quite a difficult one to do, because you need high accuracy too to strip the buffs off the enemy team. I've managed to get 428 accuracy with 100% crit rate, 224% crit damage, 230 speed, which is basically there. I've worked it out. I need to get her to 250 exactly, and then there's basically no team that can cut in on me. I'll explain that later, because I do have a substitute champion that comes in against the real top-end teams, but I don't have glyphs on a lot of the gear like this, and I've got a really bad banner here that doesn't have any rolls in speed, so I just need to get a decent speed roll on an accuracy banner for orcs, which is incredibly difficult to do for me because I like never get any good stuff from Spider. But I've actually got another chest, I've actually got another shield here, which is like, I think it's 18 speed on it, so once I glyph that and I glyph that, I'll be able to get my 250. But at the moment I'm facing pretty much every team and it's killing everyone, so it's no problem. You definitely want an accuracy chest piece if you can get it. That is a must, because you need that accuracy to strip the buffs off people. And then it's just a bunch of speed, crit rate, crit damage, accuracy, all that kind of stuff. So Savage does make a big difference to the damage, it really does. Helm Smasher as well in the masteries we've gone for, and things like Ruthless Ambush, Heart of Glory, Bring It Down as well. All these things really add up the damage to make her do what she does. Lore of Steel just to get that slight extra speed increase, and Sniper, yeah, it's just that. This is the masteries you really need for her. Technically, you don't actually need books on this champion at all for this build, because she doesn't get any damage increase off books. It's just a cooldown, and you're just blowing them up in a oneer anyway. So if you haven't booked her, you don't really need to book her for this build as such. I've just booked her because I use her for other stuff, and she's not book intensive like all these new champions. She's only like 4, 5, 6, 7 books, so it's not too bad really. I wish a lot of the new champions came out with like 6 or 7 books to book them, because 15, 16, sometimes 20 is just crazy in my opinion. But yeah, she's going to be the slowest one. At the moment, I've got my Arbiter here, and she is running at a grand total of 364, which is fast, but gets outrun by a lot of stuff in top level plat. That is where the beauty of Valkyrie comes in. So I've covered this in other videos before, but Valkyrie, she's running at 283 speed with 518 accuracy. The rest of the stats don't matter for this build. She's got a decent amount of defense though. I've not even geared all her stuff up yet, but she's got this ability here, which this champion's turn meter will be increased by 10% each time an enemy champion places a buff. Enemy champions will have their turn meters decreased for each buff they receive. So when they go first with their faster Arbiter, or preferably their faster Siphi, because she puts up 3 buffs, that means they each get a 10% reduction for each of those buffs, and this champion gets 10% increase. So she always ends up going first or cutting in on people. She's widely used in Arena for this. It's not an unknown thing. She does also have a turn meter decrease in her A1, which is useful for certain situations, but in this composition we're not looking to do that. We're actually just looking at this ability because it places 2 buffs. So it places a shield buff and a counter attack. So the beauty of using a Valkyrie is you don't have to use divine speed gear on the other champs. So if you remember from before, on my Lydia and I think it's my Arbiter as well, I both have this divine speed on both of them, so they are getting a shield buff from there. But you don't need to do that. You can just use speed gear, and then Valkyrie will put the buff on. So that's how we do that. Lydia is the next champion, so she's running here at a total of 305 speed. She's the second fastest champion in the composition. Again, you need good accuracy. I've gone for about 517. The rest of the stats don't really matter. I mean, in an ideal world, if you could get more resistance as well, that would be pretty good, just in case they have an opposing Valkyrie and they start going back and forth. But realistically, when you're looking at these stats, it's pretty hard to get resistance as well, so it's not really going to happen. Again, she's got Evil Eye on her too, because she's going to be using her A2 first, and that is an AoE, so you can get a little bit turn reduction on that one as well. Again, accuracy chest piece, accuracy on the banner, just that usual kind of stats here. So that's the basic team. I've got an advanced team as well where you sub somebody in, but I'm just going to go and run back through Gold 4 to let you see this working again. We'll blast through Gold 4, show you how easy it is to farm with this team, get ourselves into top level Platinum, and then we'll sub out our champions, and I'll show you what you do when you get to the top level. Right, we're into Gold 4 here. Now, I'm actually just going to quickly jump into this top team here. This is actually a sub-out team. Because he's running a Tormund basically destroys this composition, because whenever you put a turn meter increase or a buff on yourself, he has a good chance of freezing you. So like I said at the start of this video, if you're playing with a team like this, you really need to know who you're facing and the teams that you're facing. And if you're able to do that, you can easily sub in and out champions to make it easy enough to win. So for instance, if we go in here, if we were to go with this composition here, straight off the bat, Necrit puts up buffs, Valkyrie's going to get an increase there, which might freeze her, so things will happen straight away. So in this sort of situation, because we can look at the team here and we know they don't have a speed lead, this is going to be a fairly easy one, because this is a very, very slow team. So we can actually just take out the Valkyrie altogether, and then what we will do is if we go and find our Skytouch Shaman. So Skytouch Shaman is a debuff cleanser. She is running fast in immunity gear, so she is my second fastest champion now behind Arbiter, and I'll keep using the speed lead from Arbiter as well. What potentially, because this is such a slow team, I could actually just take out my Arbiter and put in like a fast Duchess, and that would actually then you wouldn't have to use her at all. But I'm just going to run it like this just to show you how this will work, because it's pretty useful, to be honest. So let's go in. So as you can see, a bunch of buffs come up from Necrit right away. At the moment, we've got immunity on her, no immunity on anyone else. So when I hit this button here, I'm going to freeze a bunch of my champions. As you can see, frozen her, frozen her. But we've got the buffs up, that's the main thing. And we got the turn meter increase. We ended up proccing Lydia's thing here. So now all we do is Sky Touch, because she is in immunity. We use the A2, which removes all those debuffs and puts on block debuffs and revive on death, which is another 2 buffs to remove for Seer. So she's actually brilliant in this composition. Then all we do is we hit the A2 with Lydia, all this kind of stuff, and then blow the team up. Now, the one thing about Karma Burn is if there's a shield on a champion and it doesn't get removed, it just means they're basically unkillable. So any increased defense, shields that get left on a champion is really tough to deal with. So this has been a bit of an issue, this one. I didn't strip all the stuff, obviously, because Necrit didn't let me. But if we just click auto, we should be able to just do what we were going to do anyway, because Lydia had her A3 coming up, so we blocked the cooldown skills, put a bunch of fears on, so it's never really an issue. You can get around this. But it's normally like a Tormund. No, sorry, it's normally like a Trunda or Candraphon, one of these champions that have Necrit's buff on them. So that's how you get around a team like that. But let's just start working our way down the list. So let's put in the actual team back in and show you how you farm with this team. So just hit auto, super easy. Blow up. Boom, on to the next one. We've got Siphi in here. Now these are pretty low level teams, so I'm probably still a lot faster than them. But if Siphi does put her buffs up, it actually works out even better for us. Nope. So we got the Sand/Slash Survivor doing our thing there, but it's fine, we can deal with it, no problem. The great thing about having Lydia on the team is if like a Resurrector does actually stay alive, then you could easily just avoid having to get them resurrected because she's got the passive, which is really, really strong. Next one, we'll not do the 2-man team. Let's go. This is another composition here. Boom. There's something really satisfying about this team. It's it just does it well. Here's a Warlord. Warlord's normally a bit of a pain. Against this team, no problem. Easy. So here we go, we've got another Tormund team here. This one doesn't have that annoying Necrit in it, so this will be much easier. Again, it's got the Candraphon in lead, so really easy to deal with this one. So let's just take her out, put in the Skytouch Shaman. The beauty of this team as well that I always forget is, you know, if they're running immunity, you're not going to be able to debuff them with Lydia. But again, that's just another buff to strip, make her deal more damage. So yeah, there's so many ways to use this. So again, let's go A2, and then just auto. Well, you can just auto from the start. I was just showing you how to do that. Boom, dead, easy. And she denies Tormund's revive as well. So again, very, very strong. Last one for good measure. So this is one thing we don't fight with this team. We do not fight high resistance teams. So there's a bunch of teams we don't actually fight, to be honest. So you have to pick your teams with this composition, but it can beat every composition you choose, but as long as you choose the right ones. Okay, here we've got one with Foley, so we cannot afford to make a mistake with this one, because Foley will block revives. Put the buffs up, and then blow up. Easy. Right, what I'm going to do, guys, is you can see how easy it is to farm with this team. I'm just going to work my way right up into top level platinum, as high as we can get, and we'll try this team out against the top level teams, and I'll show you the adjustments you need to make to be able to beat these sort of teams. Right, folks, we have made our way back into Platinum finally, so we've made up to roughly like top 50-ish, so we've got some good teams in here. So let's talk about the secret weapon for this team when you're fighting these top level teams. So unfortunately this composition is very gear dependent, and I just didn't have the gear to get Seer as fast as I needed her with this stat. So what I've done is I've taken off the banner and the shield that she had, which had good accuracy on it, so she was like 450 plus, and I've put in a random banner that's got 17 speed on it and a random shield with 17 speed on it too. So I've managed to boost her up to what we need, which is 250 plus. So as long as she's 250, this comp will work and she'll cut in just in time. But she needs a little bit of help. So if you have Lysandra, she is absolutely the best champion in the game for this, but I do not have Lysandra, so I am using, if I can find her, here she is. So this is the Golden Reaper. If you guys don't know who she is, she's an epic from the Knight Revenant faction. I have leveled her up, but she's not at level 60, doesn't need to be. Basically, she's got very good base speed, 111 once you ascend her, and she runs in a shield set just to get those extra buffs again for stripping, and effectively all you need her is pretty fast, about sort of 280, 290 speed. It'll be absolutely fine. She just needs to be able to get that boost from Arbiter, then jump in and do what she needs to do. I have not even mastered her properly yet, but as long as she's got like, you know, Lore of Steel to get extra stats, and Evil Eye is always handy. So that is literally the only job she needs, is to go fast, hold the shield, and what she does, she's got an A3. She doesn't need to be booked at all, which increases speed, which is another buff, which is the one that Lydia would normally do, and she boosts turn meter by 20%, which means you're able to get round to your Seer faster. Now, if I had my Seer at the same stats with like the high accuracy and like all max speed glyphs on her, then I wouldn't need this champion at all. But to get the stats that you're needing in Savage gear with high accuracy, it's very, very hard. Like really, really difficult. So that'll only be like proper high end, best possible gear in the game to be able to do that. So this is a much more accessible way of doing it. The good thing about this is not only Golden Reaper would work, I think if I can remember correctly, High Katoon will work as well, because she does the same thing. So High Katoon, yeah, turn meter increase by 15%, so it's 5% less, but you might need a little bit more than 250, but you wouldn't need much more. So she does the same thing, puts on the same buff. Lysandra, if we can find her, she is the absolute god tier champion for this. She's just an amazing champion. But what she does is she does the increased speed buff as well, but she also puts a 30% increase in turn meter, so you need even less speed on Seer, and she decreases the turn meter of the enemies, so they've got no chance of going. So unbelievably good champion she is. So let's put Lysandra away and let's try this out. So let's go into Platinum. So it's a funny team, like I say this, you need to play about with it. I've really had to do loads of testing to figure out how this kind of works. The teams I don't face are high resistance teams, hegemon teams, and anything with Lysandra in it, because if she takes the turn, it screws up the whole composition. If and when I get really, really good immunity gear, I'm going to run this in immunity, and it's going to be infinitely better, because I can then face the Torment teams, full-on hegemon teams, no problem at all. But let's take, for instance, this team here. So this has got Siphi in it and Arbiter. We're pretty high end plat just now, and so I'm pretty sure all these Siphis are going to be much faster than my Arbiter. It would probably worth, if I had the gear, I would rather run my Arbiter in immunity just now, because it's an extra buff again. I would run her in immunity and divine speed if I could, and it would guarantee that I'm actually slower, because the one thing with this composition is if I'm going in here, and what we're doing is taking out Lydia and we're putting in Golden Reaper, we do not want to go first, because if we go first, there's a good chance we'll probably lose, because we won't have enough buffs to strip to do the damage. We need Siphi to cut in on us, or well, to take a turn, then us cut in on her. So let's go in and hope for the best. So I was right, Siphi takes the turn. Look at all those buffs. So 3 buffs on everyone. All the turn meters have been decreased pretty much. Valkyrie is now shot ahead of everyone, even the super fast Arbiter. So I'm able to just go down, put some buffs up now. Then I can turn meter increase here, which boosts us round to Golden Reaper. Golden Reaper then does another increase speed and turn meter increase. Brings us round to Seer, which gets us to this point. And then all we do is, boom, dead. Easy. So this team is insanely good against these really high-end speed teams. But if I was to go in against a team that was slower, it would probably lose. In that circumstance, to beat that team, all you would do is switch out the Golden Reaper with Lydia, and then you'll win again. So it's kind of being able to gauge that. Like I said, it's probably better if you can run Arbiter in immunity and then just run the Golden Reaper strategy all the time. Here's another one. So this is actually an enemy Valkyrie, so this makes things quite interesting because there's a lot of to and fro, but let's just see what happens here. So yeah, these guys are actually slower, but the good thing is they're in immunity, so there's a good chance that I might be able to actually still kill this team. So let's try it anyway. So we'll go A up. Still got the buffs on. Valkyrie's doing some craziness. There's a lot of turn meter craziness going on here. The maths is pretty hard to compute. And then increase speed here, and yep, it still works fine. Blow them up. Easy. So These are pretty top teams we're doing this against. Let's have another go. This will be way too high resistance for us. Yet there's zero chance of us stripping the buffs, especially now the fact that Seer is down at like 300 accuracy. There's no point in trying. Here's another one. Perfect speed team. Let's try this one. All we need to do is actually hit auto, to be honest. Okay, Sify did survive there because she had her shield up, so you seen what happened there? Because Seer didn't have enough accuracy, she wasn't able to strip the Sify, which meant she survived. Because if that increased defense is still up, it's really, really hard to... Well, you basically won't kill them if shields or increased defense are left on by Seer. So really, to take this composition to the next level, I need to farm Spider and get like an accuracy banner with a bunch of speed on it. And yeah, I just need the same accuracy that I had before, like 450, 500, but with at least sort of 250 speed, which isn't that really hard to do. I just need to get a few glyphs as well, because I've got 2 or 3 pieces on Seer that aren't glyphed yet, but you get the idea. I have lost this fight now, though. The problem about this team is if you lose that initial one, you're dead. So let's just leave, and let's go and look for some more teams to beat. Let's go down here. We're looking for non-high resistance teams. Like I say, pick who you're fighting. This team here looks pretty interesting. They've got a speed lead in here, so I can go in with my Lydia here. Should be fine, I believe. Some of these might be a little bit too high resist, actually, but we'll just try it, see what happens. Okay, we're not going to kill the Valkyrie, but that's fine. Because if Valkyrie stays alive, that's no problem. Okay, obviously we get a swift parry proc there, but as you can see, it slept the Duchess, so it's actually no bother at all. We just do that, and then hit auto, and we'll kill the Valkyrie pretty easy. Swift parry is a pain, but because of the sleep, it does actually make it fairly manageable. Again, this is only with 300 accuracy. With about 400 or 500, it makes it much, much easier. Now, I know he has a pretty fast Arbiter, and it's definitely faster than mine. And he's got a Warlord in here too, so this will be quite interesting. So let's go into here, and we'll put in our Golden Reaper team. And we should be able to cut in on him, stop the Warlord doing his madness, and blow him up. Yep, a bunch of buffs up there, so yeah, I was able to turn meter decrease. There we go. And then speed round, and then Sify, not Sify, Seer. That's how easy it is, guys. These are top teams we're fighting as well, so it's a really cool way of beating these teams, actually. It does work on auto too, I should just be clicking auto. Now we'll do some more for good measure. Here's one that is awkward. Like I said before, fighting Lysandra is a little bit risky, to be honest, because if she does take a turn and decreases all your turn meters, it totally screws up the composition. But what I'll do is we'll take a gamble here because he's only 85. I might actually be faster than him anyway, so let's see if we can just quickly beat him with the standard team. Yep, we are faster, so this should be fine. Blow him up. Nice easy one. Lydia in lead, that's going to be too much resistance. Here we go, Doomsday. I think we fought this guy already, but let's just go in again, see what it does. We'll hit auto. Yeah, it does its thing. Oh, and again, same thing happened again as before. That Sify had too much resistance, so I wasn't able to strip again, so I forgot that was the same guy that I didn't beat before. Let's just, for interest's sake, let's go out. What I'll do is I might be able to get away, because that doesn't seem super fast, I might be able to get away with beating that team with a slightly slower Seer. So let's put the accuracy banner on her and come back and fight that fight and see what happens. So I've put the accuracy banner back on Seer here, so it's just got 5 speed on it, unglyphed unfortunately. So that's dropped her way back down to 241. Let's just see if we go, who was it? It was Doom something, yep, here we go. Let's see if this one works this time. So boost round, as you can see, still managed to cut in. It was a little bit slower. There are teams out there though that will end up taking a turn if they have a fast enough Trunda, so that's why I needed the 250. But There we go, was able to strip, and there we go, that's all we needed was that accuracy banner. So it's just a few stats make such a big difference in this game. Right, moving down, we've got this guy here, he's got Siphi. Rotos is a bit of a pain, but like I say, if he's just the one champion left alive, it's not too much of an issue. So let's fire this composition in and see what happens. We're actually faster, so I'm probably going to lose this. Oh no, Siphi cut in, so we were able to do it, it's no problem. Because Siphi cut in and put the buffs up there, I was able to get that extra damage from Seer's A3. Right, here we go at the bottom. It's another perfect looking team. Again, this is the perfect team. It's just Arbiter and Siphi. Really, that is what most of these speed teams are running just now. So let's jump in against this. Siphi takes a turn, we do our thing. Now, as you can see there, the problem is my Seer was too slow. So let's, out of interest, because she was dropped down to 241, let's go back to Seer, take that banner back off. You can actually find it. Put her back up to over 250. And just to show you, I might not kill this team now because I don't know if I'll have the accuracy to strip his Siphi. But if and when I get the gear to do it, there we go. As you can see, because it was at the 250, no one can cut me in. I'm totally speed tuned. So that is the exact speed you need. Let's see if we can do it. Nope, as we thought, was not able to kill the Siphi because I don't have the accuracy. So I will readdress this team when I have slightly better gear, but it's probably going to take a while because, yeah, just to get one specific accuracy banner with all the speed rolls I need might take a while. Either that or a just 6-star glyph. The one that I've got just now, because it's got no glyphs on it, and I don't have glyphs on a lot of this stuff, so I could probably just get away with glyphing my champion. Let's just go for our last couple of fights here. So 2 at the bottom, both running warlords, which would normally be a massive issue, but let's fire the team in and see what happens. Blows them up and then just comes round and kills Rotos. Easy. And it's nice and fast as well, so I'm tempted to actually use this for plat reset, but the only issue is a lot of these teams just get switched out for crazy stall teams, so again, this one should be fairly easy to beat as well. Go in and click auto. A bunch of shields up, which is really good for us. That's more buffs to strip. So that's it, guys. That's the team. It is honestly the most fun arena team I think I've built yet. It's just really, really fun to use. Again, this is like, we keep dropping in and out of plat. It's not a great defense team. I've actually stuck it in my defense, and as you can see, I'm just losing over and over because I'm at top level plat. Now, I did stick it in when I was in like top level gold 4, and I think I might have got like attacked a crazy amount of times, and I won pretty much all of them. So it might be quite a good team to just stick in, you know, right at the top of gold 4 and boost your way into platinum if you want. But people that know what they're doing would just, you know, if they went first with Siphi, they would just sleep the Seer right away. Now, I know what you're thinking, run Seer in immunity gear, but the problem being is I've tried that and she just doesn't deal the damage that you need to be able to do it. You need her in Savage gear, that I've found anyway. You need that decent crit damage, you need the accuracy. It's just too many stats you need. But I'm sure there's someone out there with the crazy gear to do it. So, yep, like I say, that's it, guys. Seer, the queen of dungeon clearing, the queen of Doom Tower clearing, and now the queen of arena clearing, I believe. Please, if you like the video, leave a comment below, let me know what you think. Hit the thumbs up as well, helps my video to get seen by others. Again, thanks for 2,000 subscribers as well. It's been a great fun journey so far. Looking forward to the rest of it. And yeah, that's it, guys. Have a great day. Peace.